Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. You're watching AMS Live. My name is Boy. It is Thursday, August 29th, 2024. And we're at the Polderbaan. Got my XA60 back and I'm already noticing things are still wrong. There's static, audible. I tried connecting and disconnecting everything and I cannot find it. And the same cables, connections, everything I use with the XA40, and that had no issues. So the camera came back from the repair shop and they said they couldn't find any faults. Well, so far the DC in is working, but that is about it. Now there is static. So I'm pretty pissed off actually. Pilot Sander is also here. Big Bird coming in. He's pointing to the other side. Next airplane to arrive, KLM flight 618, arrival from Boston, Massachusetts. 787-10 Dreamliner, 5 hours 46 minutes underway. Two-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. Good morning everybody who has joined already. Hope you're doing well. See that Paul and Maria are already in the chat. And a lot of other folks as well. Apologies for the static. First time out with the so quote unquote repaired, but they didn't do anything, XA60. If the power issue is going to occur again, I will bring it in again and I will demand that they reach out to me over the phone so that I can elaborate on what the problem is. This is Delta Airlines flight 74. It's an A350-900, 7 hours and 30 minutes underway. Arriving from Atlanta, Georgia. 8-year-old airplane. A lot of familiar names already in the chat. Koen, goedemorgen. Danny, good morning. Debbie, good morning. Paul, Scott, Esther Benjamins, Frank, Paul, Roy. Good morning all. Hope the white balance is okay. It was still set manually to what it was before I sent the camera in. On my screen and on the laptop it looks pretty decent, like what it looks like out here in the field. As you guys can see, it is a bit cloudy. It's expected to stay dry. We have a little bit of wind. Wind is what was blowing from the southwest and is going to turn more to the northwest as the day progresses. which might mean we are going to see a runway reversal operations later in the morning. The bezoek bus expected runway use specifies 2 options depending on the prevailing wind from 11:40 a.m. onwards. So might mean we will start seeing departures later in the morning. We'll see. The A380 is late today and is expected shortly before 2 o'clock, so probably isn't going to land in the vicinity. I also have to end the stream somewhere between 1 and 1:30 because I am expecting a phone call after 2 o'clock, which I need to take and which I cannot take when I am out in the field surrounded by potentially other people. So between 1 and 1:30 I will have to stop today. Now apparently I was hearing a static and you guys aren't. If that is true, that is perfect, because I was hearing static when I had my earplugs in and was checking the audio before going live, and I tried connecting and disconnecting all the cables and it wouldn't resolve. It did go away when I took out the HDMI cable from the camera, which to me suggests that the source is the camera. I have no idea, Frank. It would be odd that all of a sudden a newer camera was susceptible to high frequent radiation from the phone when its predecessor wasn't, because I never had those issues with the XA40 that I used until the last stream, over the last couple of weeks. Really annoying, this. But if you guys aren't hearing any static, that is of course better. It's definitely at moments less than subtle. Now check this out. The field of wheat immediately behind me has been harvested and massive amount of geese have landed and have set up camp. So we had Seagull Fest 2024 earlier in the year when they were sowing or plowing, and this is Geese Fest 2024, the last of the bird festivals around Schiphol Airport. Now there's also Mysteryland, another festival, but that's for humans. Not too far away from here, I think in the upcoming weekend. This is SAS flight 1553, A320neo arriving from Stockholm. 1 hour 44 minutes on the way. 4-year-old airplane, first flight December 2019. Mrs. Prof, going for a shorter name. Morning, good to see ya. Good morning, Mike, Lois, Blackburst, Peter, DJ Danny, Chicky, Danny, Alan. Good morning. Hope all is well with everybody. Now, are you guys hearing any static or not? If you're not, thank God for that. Scott wasn't. No static, Frank says. Okay. Maybe it was the wireless earplugs then, although that would be a bit odd. No static also in Horn, Roy says. Perfect. I was immensely annoyed already just now. Checking the audio, everything sounded great, and then I started hearing static. Dementia also doesn't hear anything. Okay, cool. No static, Mrs. Professor says. No static in Utah, Daniel says. Goedemorgen, Leo. Okay, great. Well, in that case, so the XA60, I received it again yesterday. The repair report said we tested the DC in with the default Canon cable USB port. And in your report, several cables were mentioned. So maybe you are not using the original Canon cable, and so they basically couldn't find anything wrong with the camera, even though I had the fault with the Canon adapter, the power cable that was supplied with the camera, and we also had it back then with another charger and a fresh USB-C cable that came fresh out of the box. So yeah, maybe the fact that they checked it out, opened and closed the machine has performed a miracle. Let's hope it's going to stay this way. Hey Marinas, hey Mott. Good morning all others who have joined in the meantime. Welcome to the show. EasyJet arriving from Prague. Firefighters already did their round as I was setting up. I'm not going to see them anymore. I think either they're already back in the station. Yeah, that might be the case. Either that, or they're still doing their round and are somewhere out of view. Now Roy, thank you so much for your continued support. Another member celebrating 16 months of membership. On my way to 2 years, absolutely. Thank you so much for your support, Roy. Always a pleasure to have you in the stream. And I hope you will continue to stay a frequent visitor for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular viewer. 16 months. How time does fly. Now we are awaiting the next airplane, which is Croatia Airlines flight 450 from Zagreb by the looks of it. Meanwhile, a group of geese is going to the after party. Some are staying. Might also be a good moment to have a quick look at what is going on over here. We need also a massive big thank you to Fritz, 9 months of membership, an inverted 6. He says good morning all in Dutch. Goedemorgen Fritz. Thank you so much for your support as well, mate. 3 more months and then it is time to go green. Greenpeace will like that. Now, insofar as the runway use is going to stay as it is right now, we're expecting a 747 pretty soon, arriving from Jeddah, Saudi cargo. We also have a cargo Lux that is expected around noon, 6 minutes past noon, also expected for Polderbaan, assuming the current runway configuration will remain in place. Happy New Year everyone! We've also got a 747 that is arriving from Delhi, which will arrive 1:25. Son told me it was the last time it is flying. It will be replaced by a 777. Emirates is late today. Now the runway use might change. The wind expected for today is expected to turn to the northwest and eventually to the north, and tomorrow it is going to be from the northeast. So tomorrow the runway will be used for outbound traffic. Bezoek Bas, the website for expected runway use, expects arrivals for Polderbaan unless the wind is changing, which means that from 11:40 onwards it could be that the Polderbaan is going to be used as 36 left for departures, together with Kaagbaan as runway 24. We'll have to see. For now, Arrivals are in place, and here's the culprit of the fireworks we heard just now. Indeed, oily balls. Almost time again. Always around New Year in the Netherlands. The culprit of the fireworks. The van. And in the meantime, the A320. Thought I saw it, but that's just a speck on my screen. The A320 from Croatia is arriving. Somewhere in the background. Don't have it inside just yet. Hey Liewe, goedemorgen man. What the fudge were you doing last night? A very generous PayPal donation at 11 p.m. So far so good. The camera is still running on DC in, so the port still recognizes the power inlet. I was hearing static on my earplugs when I was checking the audio before going live, so I thought something still is broken, but you guys apparently aren't hearing any static. So apparently that was just a local issue. Thank you so much. You really shouldn't have made. Extremely generous donation, and that was a second big donation from Liewe via PayPal yesterday. Above and beyond, mate, you really shouldn't have. You're doing more than enough as a moderator as it is already. Ohio gozaimasu, Virtual Space Airport, good morning. RBNW, good morning. Mark, good morning. Henry, goedemorgen. And thank you for your kind words. Doing nothing at the moment, just waiting. I think, yeah, now I do see something that when I move the camera also moves on my screen. It is Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. Flight radar says that there is a 7879 arriving from Cartagena left of me. Looking to my left to see if I can spot it, which against the milky backdrop of high clouds is a bit difficult. It should be turning to the north. Not seeing it yet. Left of the Croatia, we can see the contours of a 777-200. That is United Airlines Flight 968 arriving from San Francisco. And the third airplane will be arriving from the right shortly. El Al Flight 337, 737-900 arriving from Tel Aviv. Good morning, Mr. Blue Sky. Ricardo, goedemorgen. There it is, Croatia Airlines Flight 450 arriving from Zagreb. It's an A320, 1 hour and 38 minutes on the way. The 9A CTK, 24 years old, first flight April 2000. En Koen is terug. Goedemorgen Koen. EasyJet. Check it out. Han is also back in the chat. And Frank says static now and then. I thought so. Han also celebrating 16 months of membership, going dark green. He says good morning all, hit the like and subscribe. Han, thank you so much for your continued support as well. 16 months, select group of 16-month members going dark green. Thank you so much for your support. Hope everything is still good in the lounge. Okay, tiny bit of static also reported by Roy. Piece of shit camera. And Craig just gave me my 100th like. Nice. Thank you so much, Craig. Having dinner, watching. Greetings to Matt as well. This is United Airlines flight 968, arriving from San Francisco, 777-200 Right, Marianne says voiceover is almost gone and back again. Strange stuff going on. Oh, okay. Huh? Voiceover mic was turned off on the switcher. That is strange. Huh? What the fudge? Okay. Apparently the voiceover mic was switched off on the switcher. Wonder if that was all the time. Anything strange happening to the sound, please report it in the chat. I'm out again with the XA60 for the first time. The repair did not result in any actual repair. They said they couldn't find anything wrong with the camera, so basically they returned it unaltered. So I'm very much checking if everything is working okay again. The issue I was having trouble with, and that led me to send it in, that the power supply, the DC cable, or at least the AC to DC cable, did not get recognized consistently by the camera. That's so far seems to have resolved, but right, still the static. Absolutely no idea where that is coming from. Took everything out and put it back in again. The same cables that with the XA40, what was it, on Sunday, did not give any trouble. Alan says, I'm experiencing some noisy kids saying mother fudger. Get used to that, mate. Get used to that if you haven't already. Those cheeky Dutch bastards. Good morning to Gerrit. Right. Frank says, as far as I can hear, this HF intrusion from your phone. In that case, let me take out the phone, switch off the screen, place the phone in my utility card. I'm not able to read the chat because my phone is now disconnected from the camera. If it is the phone, I've now put it away. It is in my utility cart, so it is now a meter removed from the camera. After this landing, I will place it back, turn on the screen. Please let me know what your findings have been with the phone not in immediate proximity of the camera. See if it is the phone that is causing this. I'm getting my phone again, placing it in the phone holder on my camera. Attach the charging cable and back with the live chat. Any issues? Cheeky Dutch bastards. So no static, Frank says, as you turn the cam. Okay. Now, Alan, thank you so much for just now gifting 5 memberships. That's above and beyond, mate. You really shouldn't have. Hope that everybody who received a membership from you just now will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skyline's new members. Don't forget to say thank you. Don't forget to use those custom emojis that you now have at your disposal for a month. Alan, thank you so much for the gifted memberships again, mate. You really shouldn't have. Meanwhile, glide slope shot with first queen. Over here, BA flight 430. Paul says, it sounds fine to me, no change when you put the phone away. But surely you must be also sometimes hearing the static, right? Some people are reporting that they're hearing the static. So it's probably there for all of you then. Strikes me as odd that signals from my phone would be interfering with the XA60, which is the successor of the XA40, while with the XA40 it never caused any issues. I'm not saying it is impossible, I'm just saying it would strike me as odd if it were the cause. Alan says no static whatsoever. Marianne says audio is good and no static. Frank says yes static, yes static. I was hearing static too, Frank, so I'm wondering how this can be. In the foreground we have a 737 from Tarom arriving from Bucharest. I'm letting that one go. Focus on the arriving Queen. And greetings back to Orange County, David, who is tuning in from California. Have a great day. Wish I was there. Wouldn't that be something? You have a great day too. Well, first, enjoy the night. Paul says I'm static behind my coffee. Frank is using a headset and can hear it. Yeah. I was also hearing it with my earplugs in. At moments it was really not subtle and quite clearly audible, like with the monitor issue that we had back then. Saudi Cargo arriving from Jeddah, 747-400, 5 hours 29 minutes on the way, 29 years old, first flight January 1995. Let's look and listen. Not the loudest of landings. Hey Blocky Games, goedemorgen, good morning. "29 years old, the 9H aka 9 Hakka. Air Canada will be next. 7878 Dreamliner arriving from Montreal, flight 900. The old hag has landed. Indeed. Now as well, another one is arriving on Polderbaan. Unless the wind changes and the runway use will change. This is Air Canada flight 900 arriving from Montreal. 7878 Dreamliner. 9 years old. Howdy Greet. Hey there Jane. Sure am on time. Were you in time to see the Queen, Jane? Nice 3 airplane combo shot there. What up Finnair A350 fan? I am doing well. I am well indeed. And buying the China Airlines in the carbon fiber 1-400, nice. We've seen that one visit Schiphol as well a couple of times. Hey Martin R, goedemorgen. Ahmad, good morning. All others who have joined in the meantime, welcome to the show. You are watching AMS Live. My name is Boy and we are standing at Polderbaan, which at the moment is the only runway being used for arrivals for the time being. The wind is expected to change from southwest to northwest during the day. Means we might see a change of runway configuration later in the morning or perhaps in the afternoon. This is KLM flight 598 arriving from Cape Town, South Africa, 777-300. PHBVV, 3 years old, first flight December 2020. Frank still reporting static. Yeah, that's what I feared. Think it is a camera issue. It's the same exact cables as I was using Sunday and the last couple of weeks. I haven't used anything else in terms of cables. Just now back with the XA60 instead of the XA40. God, I need some vodka to wipe away my sadness. Stupid camera. Hey Georgios, good morning. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Master Bacon. Frank says, try to find out if a ferrite clamp on the cables may filter out radio HF intrusion. Yeah, but is it radio HF intrusion? Were you hearing a difference when I put the phone away? Lufthansa flight 988, A321 arriving from Frankfurt. KM Malta, A320 Neo next. So the XA40 did not have any issues and the XA60 does. I'm switching off my phone again. I'm taking it off, putting it away again. Not able to read your chat, at least not directly. Let me also think that the camera needs to be rebalanced a little bit. Right. Going to film without the phone attached to the camera now, so I cannot read your chat. The chat will have to look behind me on my laptop screen to do so, just to check if there's any static or not. So it's turned out to be a test stream of sorts. Camera is functioning really well when it comes to the power issue. That really, so far, and knock on wood that it's going to stay that way, thus far hasn't returned. KM Malta having arrived from Malta. Little butt shot in the making. Let me have a quick glance in the chat. Okay. No static, no static, no RF intrusion. Well, I was hearing it as well. Frank is hearing it. Jess is hearing it. I was also hearing it on my headphones, my earplugs. Screw you, Lisa. God is punishing you for all that drinking and swearing. You shut the F up. Now, in the meantime, birdies. Little goodies. And is that? Oh, it looks like he's swimming, but he's probably just walking. Harry. More Lufthansa. Right, well, Frank, you are Frank and Jess, you guys are hearing you guys were hearing the static as well. I am still filming here with my phone switched off and in my utility card, so that is physically now a meter or so away removed. It is switched off, the screen is off, so I'm also assuming it's not using any Wi-Fi or anything, or 5G for flight radar or for the live chat. Let's continue with another 2 landings and then let's see if the static was gone or not. At least do some troubleshooting, see if we can find the culprit. So there's a good trio over here in the water, and Harry is still in the water, standing in the water on the sides. What you looking at? Alrighty, got another KLM 777 coming in. Right, time to head over to first the right. Time to put the phone back in the holder, open the screen, charging cable, there we go. No static, no static. Perfect sound. My earplugs are indeed Bluetooth Frank. Flight Devil says it's with everybody in the own output audio cables. Really? Finnair? No, Turkish A350-900 arriving from Istanbul. An airplane you don't see every day over here. Right, so got my camera, got my phone attached again to the camera. Can see the chat and flight radar again. Those of you who were also hearing the static, let me also place the camera a bit forward to balance the tripod again. There we go. Those of you who were hearing static before, when I had my camera and my phone put away, were you guys hearing anything? So what do I do now? I mean, I have no idea how I can fix this. KLM flight 980, the next airplane to arrive from London City. Embraer 190, 47 minutes underway. PHEZA, 15 years old, first flight October 2008. Use a shielded cable, Frank says. A shielded cable for what? The HDMI or Which cable do I need to shield? I'm having tons of cables here. The XLR I think is shielded. That's from the Sennheiser mic into the camera. And then I have USB-C that is going into the camera for the power. I have USB-C going into my phone. My phone is near the camera. We have HDMI that is going from the camera into the switcher. And I have Thunderbolt between the switcher and the MacBook. And there's a wireless DJI connection that is running on Bluetooth 2.4 gigahertz. That is for the voiceover audio. That is wireless. And then a 3.5mm jack from the receiver, the DJI receiver, into the switcher. And Clementia says, put away your phone. Well, in that case, I cannot view the chat, cannot watch Flight Radar. Might as well just call it quits and stop with the live streams altogether. That's not going to work, unfortunately. I need that phone. And Marcel, thank you so much for your super chat, mate. Trying to extend via my iPhone, but doesn't work. So support in this way instead then. Marcel, thank you so much for the super chat, mate. Thank you so much. Right, and David is saying, watching in Switzerland, the sound is good, no static listening on headphones. Growing really tired of constantly having to battle with technical issues here. ETA 8-20. Absolutely one of the prettiest airplanes out there right now. Alright, I'm also hearing something pass by overhead. It is contrail time again. Looks like a Dreamliner judging the wing shape, but not exactly sure which carrier. KLM 737-800, flight 1918, arriving from Zurich. 24 years old, PHBXF, first flight May 2000. Lewis is asking, did you manage to catch the A321 coming in the other day? No, mate, I was working. Tuesdays and Wednesdays are always my working days. Had to do other stuff instead. Now Mrs. Professor also just heard static for the first time on her speakers. It's spreading like a disease. Fudging mother fetcher. Annoying. So what cable should I shield then? And what do I need to look for? What is it called? What do I need to buy then? KLM flight 1850 arriving from Munich. 737-800. Behind it, Delta Airlines flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think that's the first Delta A330-300 of the show. Now they always have the potential to get loud, so let's hope and listen. Obviously first, this little itty bitty airplane has to get off the runway. Frank says, can you turn the phone 90 degrees? I can. Let me try that. Alright. Did that just now, Frank. Phone is now horizontal. It was vertical first. Delta Airlines Flight 162 arriving from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A330-300, 7 hours and 28 minutes underway. 19-year-old airplane. First flight March 2005. Captain let down. Oh man. Jerome, thank you so much. Just now gifting 5 memberships you really shouldn't have made. Coming in with a bang. Hope all is well, Jerry. Don't forget to say thank you if you're one of the 5 recipients of Jerry's gifted memberships just now. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, folks. Be sure to use those custom emojis that are now at your disposal. Jerry, good morning and thank you so much. And also, Mr. Peterson, thank you so much as well, sir. Very, very generous super chat there just now. A small thank you, he says, for showing my airline Delta. Sir, thank you so much for that. You really shouldn't have. Happy to oblige. There's more Deltas coming today. Hope you'll stick around for us to show you them. Now, thank you so much, sir. And Frank says no static now. Okay. Let's try this for a bit longer then. In the meantime, the next airplane coming in is EasyJet, arriving for Copenhagen, A320neo. And I think we have our first 17-month member, Captain Jerry. I think together with Rick Meester, the 2 very first members, so the first to breach the 17-month membership barrier. 17 months, celebrate, enjoy the emojis, he says. Jerry, thank you so much for all your support, mate. And always the good fun when you're in the chat. That's the most important thing. Always there to spice up the chat, to liven up the chat with some humor, as so many of you guys do. Right, people who were hearing the static before, have you been hearing it in the last couple of minutes? I switched, I turned my phone 90 degrees now, so it's now horizontally instead of vertically positioned in the holder. Remco also in the chat, morning mate, beeld en geluid zijn top. DJ Danny says, no, it's gone. That bodes well. See that Lance is also back in the chat, morning mate. Hope all is well, good to have you back. Now, I also have the XA60 back, which the repair shop guys in their repair report said couldn't find the issue I was reporting. They suggested it might have been an operating error, since they said in your fault report it was mentioned several cables. Possibly you're not using the original Canon cable, which is utter BS. But whatever they did thus far, the issue with the power supply not being recognized and camera switching to battery power while the USB charging cable is attached, knocks on wood, has not returned. Instead now static, which I don't recall having before the issue, before I sent it in. Now I'm thinking, was I still using my old phone back then? That could be the case. Jerry says, boy, lay on your back with legs up pointing west. Man, if that's the trick, if that's the trick. The answer to resolve everything. I will happily do that. I will need somebody who will operate the camera for me then instead. Also a warm welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge to Peter Kleinstra, just now becoming our latest member. Thank you for choosing AMS Live. I hope you will like it in the lounge, mate. Don't forget to use the custom emojis. Spamming is not allowed, but custom emojis are there to be spammed with. That goes for all members. Okay, then flight 1002 arrival from London Heathrow. No, Lisa, still haven't found a co-host. Are you offering? Hank says, it's fine, I enjoy. Well, I'm curious. Frank, are you hearing any static? Have you been hearing any static since I switched the camera 90 degrees? Or Jess, who was also hearing it? If this fixes it. Rob de Greef says, too many robs here. How many robbers do we have here? Are you guys Canadian by any chance? Coming to take our money? Marcel says, strata tanker passing at 10,000 feet. Where? South of me? I do see something producing a contrail flying towards the sun. Not sure if that's the strata tanker. Okay, thanks for the feedback, Frank. Since changing to 90 degrees, other position, no static. That is fantastic. If that is the solution. If you would be so kind, Frank, to keep me posted. If it does reappear, I'm going to leave the phone in the horizontal position as it is then. This might be the strata tanker, right? Bit difficult to follow. Now, big picture wise, this is what it looks like. Looking to the south, looking to the east, looking to the north, finally looking to the west. Okay, static again. Okay, when lifting the cam upwards, some static. I have absolutely no idea what is going on here. Please help me out if you have ideas happening when you zoom. Well, if I cannot zoom, then then I might as well just throw the camera away. Pointless. Next display, A320neo, arriving from Reykjavik, flight 460, 2 hours 37 minutes on the way, 7-year-old airplane, first flight April 2017. Lance says, when you tipped up to the sky to see the aircraft overhead, the static came back. Goes as soon as you're back level, not a deal breaker. Okay. But it was also audible first when I had my phone in vertical position. Now that I still have it in horizontal position, it seems better, right? Lisa says, the only moment I can hear the static is when you point the camera upward and zoom in at the same time. Oh. Now where's the bloody airplane? Thing is, I was hearing it on my headphones, on my earplugs, before going live when the camera was stationary. It almost seemed to change in intensity as the camera was still and I was moving around it, which is also odd, isn't it? Mark says, the static is your magnetic personality. Don't worry. That's sweet, mate, but I really wish I could find the source and solve it. In case you haven't noticed yet, I'm a bit of a perfectionist and I cannot stand it when stuff like this happens and it seems to be random. Now, also a triplet of grebes over there. Although, those mother duckers, you know what they do. Got another airplane coming this way from the west. Delta? Could be. Transavia arriving from Girona in Italy, flight 5766. Emirates. Hey Andy, morning mate. Good to have you back, hope all was well. Boston to Dubai. Thank you, Celestia. Patrick says no Chicago. Hey Jannes, good morning mate. You have a great day too. Good to have you back, hope all is well. Got a Belgium TUI coming in next, which is returning from Willemstad, Curaçao. Bloop, bloop, bloop. Synchron swimmers. Mrs. Professor says, I didn't hear static when you zoomed that time. So, randomness, right? Makes it even more frustrating. If there's not a pattern that a clear pattern that you can discern. Wind in the meantime looks like so. Let's do a quick check of the meter while we're at it. Probably still CAV okay. Yep, it still is. The wind is turning as the day progresses, as was expected by Windfinder. Starting off with southwestern wind, now the wind has turned to the west. Still a handful of knots, what is it? 8 knots, 304, 23C over here. And the wind is going to change further to the north. So as said before, we might see a runway reversal later. Not earlier, later. Might result in departures later in the stream. Right. Got the updated meter pasted in the ticker for you guys. Let's quickly turn to the Belgian TUI arriving from Willemstad, Curaçao. 8 hours 47 minutes on the way. 10-year-old airplane. First flight November 2013. Daniel says, I hear no static. Right, so at least turning the phone horizontally seems to improve the static for those who were hearing it. Although it doesn't seem to be completely gone. Does seem to work for those who were hearing it. No, Paul, I didn't. Sorry, Andy. Apparently, I missed gifted memberships by you. Apologies for that, mate. Where did that happen? Happened a long time ago. Andy, apologies, mate. 10 gifted memberships and I totally missed it. Not sure what I was doing then, but certainly not watching the chat. That is insane, mate. You really shouldn't have. Thank you so much for that. I hope that everybody who received a gifted membership by you will say thank you for it. Welcome to the Aurora Skylines new members. Andy, cheers, mate. Apologies for not seeing it initially. Thank you, Paul, for reminding me. Andy says, didn't notice, was busy getting my coffee. That's very important. Priorities first, right? Still, I didn't see it. I'm not sure if I was spotting a contra or was focused on something else. Cheers, Paul, for reminding me. We've got a 777-300 arriving from Curaçao as well, Willemstad. The PH-BVR 8-year-old airplane, first flight May 2016. JetBlue arriving from Boston, preceded by an Embraer 190 by KLM, arriving from London City, immediately after this one. Beer and Jägermeister. Are you allowed to drink again, Jerry? Is the doctor okay with that? Glide slope shots indeed. Hey, Jimmy Pirate also in the chat. Goedemorgen. What is that? Already on the left hand side. Now I'm blinded by the sun as I was checking out Air Icarus. Might be arriving traffic for Polderbaan, Transavia. Joao says, hey, nice stream. Thank you so much for your kind words, Joao. Welcome to the show. Hope that everybody who is new to the channel is liking it. Don't be afraid to say hi like Joao just now did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. A lot of people are watching, they're all friendly, and a lot of them are knowledgeable as well. Right, third airplane, barely visible. 3 airplanes, nice linear glide slope shot. KLM flight 982, Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Jerry knows a lot about nothing. Me too, mate. I also know nothing about a lot. Little butt shot there. JetBlue up next, arriving from Boston, Massachusetts, flight 631, A321neo, 6 hours 11 minutes underway. 3-year-old airplane, first flight November 2020. Check out that ass indeed. As long as it isn't shaking. Shaking asses have been known to cause local rain in the Netherlands, and we don't want that. Andy says, asks crosswinds. Absolutely, mate. Check out the METAR. The wind is now blowing perpendicularly to the runway heading, as it is switching from southwest in the morning to northwest as the day progresses. So, not sure for how much longer we are going to see arrivals over here. The website that is indicating the expected runway use for the upcoming hours was already mentioning 2 options from 11:40 a.m. onwards. So it might be that in less than half an hour from now the runway use is going to change. I don't think it's going to do so immediately. They're not going to do so immediately, since the wind is now still blowing perpendicularly, but as soon as it's becoming more tailwindy for the arriving airplanes, I think they're going to switch to outbound traffic on Polderbaan. You do that, Lisa. You stay static. Although, is that you being static that we can sometimes hear here on the stream? Is your static interfering with my stream? That wouldn't be good. Then Embraer 190 arriving from Brussels, KLM flight 1704. KLM, after that, Air Canada A330-300. Another heavy hitter. Visible in the top left third of your screen. Oh boy, do I know that. Always sabotaging things. Is that why that airline was called Sabena back in the day? Because Belgians like to sabotage? Makes you wonder. Pieces of the puzzle falling together, falling in their place. What I'm trying to say, Patrick, is that a trait of the Belgian folk, the Belgian people sabotaging things? Could that be it? Is it Belgian interference that is causing the static? Beastie Boys, sabotage. Oh man. Ah, okay. Thanks for the reassurance, Patrick. You guys never do that. Perfect. That's settled then. Sex on board and nothing else, Koen says. Right, well, sounds like a perfect airline carrier then. Air Canada Flight 808 is this A330-300 coming to get our money. Bank robber look, arriving from Toronto. This bank robber is already 10 years old and had its first flight in January 2014. Jimmy asks if I have an airplane collection. I do not, mate. I do not. Hadi Mots, good morning. Good to see you again, mate. Such a bad experience, never again. That was the Sabena joke in the 80s. Although Lance quite liked them. Such a bad experience, never again. Alrighty, let's see, we have two airplanes on the glide slope. KLM flight 1030 in the foreground, that's an E2 Embraer arriving from Manchester. EasyJet A319 arriving from Bristol behind it. Indeed, Jerry, glide slope shot. Third airplane is turning in, that would be an Embraer 175, also arriving from Bristol, KLM. Not the best of visibility, even though the clouds are higher in the sky. The backdrop makes it a bit more challenging to see the airplanes actually turning in the distance. So anybody heard any static in the last 10 to 15 minutes or so? Don't think I've been doing any contrail spotting in that time span. Just ground traffic, so to speak. Hey Menno, morning. Absolutely having a good day here today. Hope you are too. EasyJet A319 arriving from Bristol. Behind it should be, yeah, in the top left third, just about visible. KLM flight 1076 also arriving from Bristol. See that Davey is also back in the chat and is celebrating 9 months of membership. Super duper channel boy, he says. Davey, thank you so much for your kind words and thank you so much for your ongoing support. 9 months of membership. Hope everything is still good in the lounge for you. Do let me know if something isn't okay. Cheers, mate. Almost going green. Mrs. Professor is off to bed soon, so that she can do her errands in the morning. Mrs. Professor, thank you so much for joining again. Always a pleasure to have you. Sleep well. Hope to see you in the next one, hopefully tomorrow. And good luck with all the errands. Lance was so fortunate to fly Sabena 747 and their A310 to Africa. Yourself or as a passenger? Probably as a passenger. Or were you type rated for the 747 and the A310 as well? Patrick flew on Sabena in the on a DC-10 to Johannesburg. From Brussels? I'm assuming. Just plain nuts also back in the chat. Good morning. Is it still morning? Yeah. Or at least over here. And from Brussels, Patrick says. Nice long flight. Now, Captain Wheelie has been missing for a while. Hopefully he or she or they will return at some point. It's been months now since we last saw a big ass Captain Wheelie Wheelie. Zoom out, not in. Turn and zoom in again. Zoom in on KLM flight 696, which is an A330-200 arriving from Toronto. Top left, you can vaguely see the contours of the airplane behind it, which is KLM flight 644. That's a 787-10 Dreamliner arriving from New York JFK. Flight time 6 hours and 35 minutes. It's the PHAOD FAOD. 18 years old. First flight April 2006. Finn says that wind deviation is something. Yeah, absolutely. The wind is now blowing perpendicularly to the runway heading, coming from the west, and is turning to the northwest. And the more northwesterly the wind will become, the more likely it will be that Schiphol is going to use this runway for departures. Wind is also picking up, as you guys can see on the scale of chimney smoke. This is KLM flight 644, arriving from New York JFK, 787-10 Dreamliner, 6 hours and 6 minutes underway 4-year-old airplane, the PHBKD. First flight November 2019. Frank, how has the audio been for you the last 15 to 20 minutes? Any static that you can discern? Static is gone. Okay. Thank you so much for helping me troubleshoot, Frank. If this is the solution, and also not pointing upwards and zooming in too much. And it looks like we have found a workaround. And you're absolutely right, Lance. 6 hours 6 minutes from JFK is wind assisted. Must have had a lot of tailwind. Duckler says departure is going to shift to 36 left and landings to 7. Is that certain already? Will McT says just joined, no static. Well, some people were experiencing static earlier. That was when I had my phone in vertical position in the phone holder, which is attached to my camera. Now, as per Frank's suggestion, I have turned it 90 degrees. Phone is now horizontally in the holder attached to my camera, and that seems to have done the trick. For now, still airplanes coming to Polderban to land. First airplane, KLM flight 1056 and Embraer 175 arriving from Norwich. In the top left, you can already see the contours of a 777-300ER, which is KLM flight 682 arriving from Vancouver. Yeah, good suggestion, Rob. Switch back to vertical so that you guys can see indeed if this is indeed the answer, the solution, the fix. Right. Camera, phone, now once again switched 90 degrees vertical. It's now vertically in the holder, or at least I've switched the holder 90 degrees so that the phone is now in its vertical position. Thank you for the feedback, Ishrat, who has been watching for over an hour now and never heard any static at all. Well, not everybody was hearing it to begin with. Some people were, and those people haven't heard it anymore after I turned the phone 90 degrees. But there were also people who didn't hear anything in the first place initially. I was hearing it on my headphones before going live, which got me really annoyed, but this seems to be working. So, well, let's just see. KLM flight 682, 777-300ER, Vancouver to Amsterdam, 8 hours 23 minutes as we speak. The PHBVG, 12-year-old airplane, first flight May 2012. Scott also never heard any static to begin with. Liwa also never heard it. Well, when I had my headphones in before going live, and those do connect to the laptop via Bluetooth, I was hearing it quite vividly at moments. Hey, droog bier, goedemorgen, good morning. Hey, you're also back in the chat. Happy Thursday, mate. Lunchtime in Düsseldorf. Bon appetit, my friend. Hey Alan, morning mate. Tuning in from the northeast of England. Hope you're all good, he says. I for one am. Hope you're good as well, mate. Frozen French fries. Bevroren patat, also back in the chat. Morning. Back at Polderbaan. Used for arrivals for now. We began the stream with winds from the southwest. Now the winds have turned to the west and they're expected to turn further to the northwest as the day progresses. So wouldn't be surprised if we're going to see departures pretty soon. Johan says, I'm back. You mean you're back or is the static back? This is KLM flight 924 arriving from Edinburgh, 737-800. 1 hour and 2 minutes of flight time. Ah, okay. Thanks, Johan, for clearing that up. Yeah, we're also testing if static is returning. Got my phone in the vertical position. Initially, some people were having static. Switching the phone horizontally seems to have resolved it. We're now back to vertical positioning of the phone to see if it comes back again. So do let me know if any of you guys are hearing any static again. And also if you're not. Flight radar seems to be freezing over here. For some reason, my flight radar only shows me the plane that landed just now. KLM flight 924. But this obviously is not KLM, but EasyJet. No static at the moment, okay. Any of you experiencing a freeze on flight radar? Or is this a local issue? Another local issue. Okay, Maria has the same thing. Right, flight radar has unfrozen again, as it has with Maria as well. Cool. Thus far, Polderbaan and Buitenvelderbaan still in use both for arrivals. Normally speaking, runway change takes place around 11:40 AM local time, so in 5 or so minutes from now. Looking at the pipeline of airplanes that seem to be flying to Polderbaan, it doesn't seem like Polderbaan is going to close for arrivals come 11:40, and that probably means that the next moment where they might do a runway change will be 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. local time. Meanwhile, this is KLM flight 954 arriving from Newcastle. Now this Embraer has no winglets, it has no sharklets. It does have big ass engines and a sleek fuselage. So that is an E2 Embraer 195. No, Lucas, we were experiencing the same. Maria as well, me too. Marianne says you're just not allowed to go to the pole around, yeah? You would almost be inclined to think that, wouldn't you? Now, school holidays for I think 2/3 of the Netherlands is over, and guess who have returned from their vacation as well? It's the Crow Crew, the murder of crows. Russell and his cronies taking hold of Polderbaan again as well. Here we have another Embraer. E2, arriving from Glasgow. Lisa also wants a sleek fuselage. Last time I checked, your fuselage was quite sleek already. Hey there Matthew, good morning. Matthew says, stream fine as usual, great show. Thank you so much for your kind words, mate. Now, got the phone vertically again for a couple of minutes, 5 to 10 minutes, maybe more, maybe less, I'm not sure. Anybody hearing any static? Haven't heard anything from you guys, so I'm wondering now, was this the answer or was this a placebo effect or something? How does that work? Right. Captain Jerry is a wide body, Frank sleek fuselage and big engines. And JD feels like he's a tiny cargo plane. No static reported by Marianne and by Maria and by Frank. Right, so god damn it. It's so random, isn't it? That's the most annoying thing. There's not a clear pattern that you can discern that is causing or triggering the static. And Jeff is an Airbus guppy. Aw. Virginia here's no static as well. Thanks for the feedback, guys. Another Lance in the chat. Lance 1 and Lance 2. KLM flight 1174 up next, arrival from Stavanger. Now, this airplane does not have big ass engines. It does have, and still open for debate, is it winglets or sharklets? There's always debate about what to call those things. I always call them winglets. It's an Embraer 190, that's what I know for sure. Let's see. Airplane overhead. Will it trigger the static again? Let's find out. Think it is over there somewhere. Looks military. C-130. Right. Hey Ton, also back in the chat. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Alright, well, interesting to see what is going to happen next. Looking at Chucky, that is now flying this way. I'm inclined to say, well, no, 2,000 feet and descending. Still coming in to land on Polderbaan. So too will probably be KLM flight 767. And an Embraer 190 arriving from London City. Yeah, okay, so just a moment of relative calmness. Maria says static. Frank says static again. And pilot Sander, who is still standing here, just WhatsApp me saying Polderbaan is going to be used for takeoffs right now. Cheers, mate. Pilot Sander, do check out his channel if you haven't already. Almost 100k subscribers and making compilation videos of mainly heavy traffic from Schiphol, but also other airports for a decade now. Yes, yeah, the airplanes are continuing to runway 27, which means runway switch. Now, where this airplane is taxiing is single lane, so it first has to clear the taxiway before outbound traffic can commence their taxi to the Polderbaan from the main platform area. Gonna do the switcheroo. Right, so we can establish that static has returned. It seems to be triggered by positioning of the camera, but also the positioning of the phone seems to matter. I'm switching the phone back horizontally again. Paul asks, does your phone have Bluetooth and or Wi-Fi enabled, and does it need to have those enabled? Wi-Fi I have disengaged. I have switched it off since I am using 5G on my phone for internet connection. So Wi-Fi is off and Bluetooth is also off. I only use Bluetooth when I'm listening to music in the gym or something. So both Bluetooth and Wi-Fi are off. The only thing I'm using is 5G internet data for my live chat and for flight radar. See that Rich is also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Hope all is well, all things considered. So for sake of what was it that I was trying to say? So I've got the phone positioned horizontally again. Let's see if we're going to hear any static in the upcoming minutes. Did seem to work. The earplugs are using Bluetooth, but I connect to the laptop and not to my phone, Frank. Everything comes together in my laptop, so that's where I check the sound. The phone I'm only using for data for the live chat and for flight radar. And everything from audio and video goes to my ATEM mini switcher, and from there it goes to my laptop. So I check the audio levels, which I can also manage for the switcher with software on my laptop. So I connect Bluetooth to my MacBook before going live, have my earplugs in to check the audio levels, and if I hear anything like static. Once I'm done with that, also on the laptop, Bluetooth goes out, the earplugs go back into their container, so they also disengage. Everything to minimize radio interference. Let's see what I can do now while we're waiting. Is also switch off the data connection, the mobile data connection on my phone. So that means that the only thing that my phone does is be there. There shouldn't be any data, any radio interference going in or out. So now don't have any updates of my chat window or from flight radar. Well, if you weren't hearing any static before I switched it off, it's probably not going to make a difference. What I can do now is just switch around, move the camera a little bit. So I do have my phone still attached to the camera, but all data connections are off now. No Bluetooth, no Wi-Fi, no wireless data. Last time things were triggered by zooming in and panning, tilting up, so going in full 400 times digital zoom, going back out again. Round and round, don't get nauseous. Ooh, do have some big birds coming in. This one is closest by. Where did I see that? Contrail, there it is. Hard for me to make out what it is, which carrier. Almost looks like an Airbus. And there was another one. There it is. Now, not so hard to see what this is. That's a big fat Emirates A380, which is undoubtedly going back to Dubai. That other airplane is flying closer by now. Red engines. Air India or something? Meanwhile, still waiting for outbound traffic. No static, no static, no static. Right, so then it is the probably is the phone. See that Jerry was so kind to gift another 5 memberships just now. Thank you so much for that, mate. That's above and beyond. I don't know why. But thank you so much. I hope that everybody who received the membership just now will say thank you for it. Welcome new members. Don't forget to say thank you to Jerry. And also, if you're one of the 5 members who got gifted their membership by Jörg just now, don't forget to say Dankeschön to Jörg. Thank you so much, Jörg. You really shouldn't have. Another 5 members courtesy of you. Another 5 courtesy of Jerry. 10 new members. Welcome to the Aurora Sky Lounge, folks. So let me turn back on the data on my phone, so that I can also read the live chat and check out flight radar on my phone again. Everything is online again. Check, check. Right, so if we establish that the radio interference from the phone is the source, what can you do to fix it? I cannot put it in a case. The case makes the camera get too warm. Ideally, I think you may want to get a Faraday cage around it, or will that also interfere with the radio signal, the wireless data signal that the phone needs? Probably, right? Also a massive big thank you to Scott, who celebrates 2 months of membership and says, love your work. Scott, thank you so much for your kind words and for your support, mate. And also for the gift of membership just now. See that Marco was the recipient. Not sure if Marco is in the chat today, or if he isn't, don't forget to say thank you. Scott, thank you so much. Lisa, gotta go soon, off to lunch. What's for lunch? Frank says Faraday cage is not the solution. Well, if it isn't, what then could work to resolve this issue? Just wondering what we can do to fix it. Faraday cage around around the camera. Oh, that's good. That's a great way to have lunch, Jerry, with beer. Belgian beer. That could be something. That could be something that Belgians do. Antenna position of your phone is critical. Ron says lead bugs. Yeah. Well, it might work to reduce the susceptibility of the camera for vibrations from the wind. More heavier equipment. JD will hop to Lurker's Lounge. Well, Lisa, if you're not back before 1 o'clock, 1 to 1:30, you might miss the rest of the stream because I have to wrap up early. I'm expecting a phone call in the afternoon from 2 o'clock onwards, for which I will need some privacy. So I do need to be done with the stream today between 1 and 1:30. The A380 with the new runway configuration more than likely is going to land on 1836 right. Let's have a look while we're waiting and see what's going on. Wind has changed, probably more to the, well, not yet to the northwest. It is still perpendicular to the runway heading, but you can now see that the wind variability is also a bit to the north. Windfinder was expecting wind to gradually change to northwest as the day progresses, so no longer arrivals on Polderbaan was to be expected at some point. It is still cavalcade. Not much has changed in that respect. The wind still 8 knots, 304. What does LVNL, the Dutch air traffic control, say now? Yeah, so we'll need to update the ticker with respect to runway use, and I will also paste the new meter in it. Ah, a couple of 10% beers at lunch. I knew it. I knew it. Well, I have vodka for during the stream, so that combines well. Let's see, arrivals. Runway 27, exclusive runway for arrivals at the moment. Departures is runway 24, but also 36 left, right. 36 left, right. This is now 36 left, yeah. Frog in my throat. Kermit. JD says bye. JD, thank you for joining, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. Hopefully see you tomorrow. Ton is saying that the TUI is coming to Polder. Finally some action. Paul says, can you connect to the internet on your phone via Wi-Fi instead of mobile data? I can. I can connect via Wi-Fi to my mobile router, which I use to upload. Oh shoot, password. Fuck's sake, what was that? Let me see if I can still find it. Boy, 123. Thank you, ethical hacker, or are you a dark hacker, Frank? If I recall correctly, I did have a photo of the inside of my router where I had the password, but I'm not sure. Let me see if I can find it. You think that might be the answer? Because there's still going to be a wireless signal emanating from the phone. Instead of if 5G, it will be Wi-Fi. You think that will make the difference? Is that possible? I'm now scrolling through my photos on my... Ah yeah, there it is. No, I don't think that is it. Or is it? Let's give it a try. Okay, I think it is working. Disengage mobile data on my phone. I am now connected to my modem that I'm using to stream with via my phone. Indeed, Jeff, default password. No need to use it. Use a different password, since I'm only using this for data while I'm streaming, and it is in my mobile phone for when I'm doing my day job if I need to call with it. And that is a simple Nokia, which even doesn't have an internet connection. This is TUI flight 351 to Curaçao, Willemstad. I also placed the phone vertically again in the original upright position. Hadi Maurice, goedemiddag. Roy also has to go. See you later, Roy. Or at least has to go into lurkers mode. Hope to see you again later, mate. So, just to be clear, I'm now connected on my phone with Wi-Fi, my router that I'm on, my modem that I'm also using to upload the stream with. Mobile data is switched off. Plus, I also positioned the camera back, the phone back vertically, because I'm assuming if the interference was coming from the mobile data and not from Wi-Fi, it shouldn't matter what position the phone is in, but maybe it does matter. But then you will have interference with both Wi-Fi and with the mobile data. Also repositioned the remote, because now the movement is from right to left. Don't hear any static, but occasional buzzing noise and wind noise. Insects on your microphone, Graham says. Yeah, that can happen. Buzzing you do sometimes hear whenever one of those flies comes too close to the microphone. If that's it, if that's the only odd noise that you're hearing, I'm a happy camper. EA flight 431 A319 to London Heathrow. I also saw that the audio was going into the red for a moment. Let's lower the volume a little bit. Right. The next airplane to take off from what is now a runway 36 left will be Finnair flight 1302 going to bloody Helsinki. It's an A350-900 with the Bringing Us Together Since 1923 livery. And have a look at the picture that you can see when clicking on the airplane in flight radar. Beautiful orange sunset, I think. Beautiful picture. Wow, the cat is also back. Good morning. Welcome back, hope all is well. No static, Frank says. Paul says Wi-Fi and mobile data use different frequencies. Maybe the mobile data was the cause, but time will tell. Yeah, well, do keep me posted, folks. Also, if you're not hearing anything, do feel free to report that back in the chat on occasion as well. So Wi-Fi and the phone once again in vertical position is what we're now testing. Now I also upgraded my my unlimited data, so it should have higher upload and download speeds. I think now out here in the field, at least, I didn't test today, but last time I was here I was having ample upload speed, and I know what my data consumption is when uploading the stream. It's like I have ample headroom for both upload and download speed to be using to use the Wi-Fi for my phone as well. The only thing I'm using in terms of data is flight radar and the live chat. And the live chat I use the URL, the separate URL. So you only have the chat and nothing from the video. I saw the pictures, Maurice. Beautiful airplane indeed. Was it yesterday? Wasn't it Tuesday? The day before yesterday? Lovely airplane indeed. Sadly arriving on a work day for me. ML Productions is watching on the TV at home. 1080, 60 frames per second. Everything is looking and sounding perfectly. Thanks for the feedback, mate. Jeff says 2160p, let's go. That will require me to purchase a lot of new equipment. The current camera can handle 4K, but only 25 frames per second. And I think when you're panning quickly, like what we're going to do with the Fin Air shortly, it will look a bit stuttery. Tom says, I'm a time traveler. The stream says it's 2 seconds ahead of my PC's time. We are quick, aren't we? Jeff says that'll fix the static issues as well. Yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. A350 Fin Air to bloody Helsinki. Let's go. Koen is also back. Welcome back, Koen. Howdy, Monique. Good to see you again. Hope all is well. Right, well, if there is no static, then switching to Wi-Fi for the data feed on my phone seems to be the answer. Would be nice if it were the solution to the problem. Now, check it out, folks, on Flight Radar. A lot of airplanes are coming this way. Delta outbound, 2 A330s, Delta Flight 57 to Salt Lake City, the first airplane to arrive. Then another A330-300 that is also coming this way, sandwiched in between. KLM 737 going to Bergen. American Airlines is also coming this way, going to Dallas. I was gonna say the proof of the pudding is in the eating. I am hearing something pass by overhead, but as you guys can see, overhead visibility at the moment not the best. Maybe if it is west of me or a rise west of me, I am able to see it, but I'm just hearing something I'm not seeing where it is going to. And there is something moving over there. Let me see if I can catch it. Was it there? No. Yeah. There it is. Also a little bit of zooming in. Obviously looks pixelated AF. That's digital zoom. This is back to the top end of optical zoom. Hey there, Michiel. Goedemiddag, good afternoon. The sky is looking a bit different from what it was earlier. What it was looking like earlier. Wind on the scale of chimney smoke, also a bit more horizontality, as you guys can see. Ton says Cargolac 747427. I think I have it. There it is. Little narrow body will pass by. KLM 737 preceding the what now has become 2 consecutive Delta A330s. Lining up right now, Delta Airlines Flight 57, A330neo to Salt Lake City, which will be followed by an A330-300, also by Delta, going to Boston, Massachusetts. Jeff says, I like big jets and I cannot lie. I think we all do, mate. I think we all do. You're in the right place right here. Delta Airlines Flight 57 now spooling up, ready to go to Salt Lake City. Delta A330neo. Brand new airplane, first flight November 2023. Clementia is waiting for a plumber and a painter to fix the wall in the hallway and bathroom. I heard on the news today that it's getting ever more expensive if you need someone to plaster your walls, or if you need a painter or a plumber. There is so high demand these days, the hourly rates have gone up. People are even overbidding, just like with the housing market over here in the Netherlands. Delta Airlines Flight 243 going to Boston, Massachusetts. Delta A330-300. 17 years old, first flight December 2006. And indeed the PH AXA arriving on Tuesday. First of many, a great many. Yeah, we're going to see those A321neos from KLM in the future quite regularly. Lined up right now behind us is American Airlines Flight 221, 777-200. Destination Dallas-Fort Worth, Texas. It's the November 772 Alpha November, 25 years old, first flight February 1999. It is a millennial. It's a freaking millennial. To that I drink. Fire in the hole. Showtime. what a beautiful roar. Also a warm welcome to Dash NBG, our latest Aurora Sky Lounge member. Thank you so much for choosing AMS Live, Dash. Hope you will like it in the lounge. Thank you so much for choosing AMS Live. Alan says, catch you later, boy and crew. Yet another fantastic stream again. See ya at the next time. Have a good day. Thank you too, Alan. Always a pleasure to have you in the stream. Enjoy the rest of your day. Careful that your wig doesn't get blown away. KLM Embraer 190 off to Aberdeen. PHEZM, 14 years old, first flight January 2010. Camera is moving ever so slightly up. Do I need to weight down the camera a bit further to the front? Probably. Thing is, with switching cameras, I also constantly have to reattach the mounting plate, which has numbers and lines indicating certain fixed places on the mounting rail. But if you place the mounting rail a little bit forward or backwards versus what it was before you took it off, camera balance might be a little bit off. Keep the numbers in my phone so that I know which setting to put it in. But apparently the mounting plate probably has moved a few millimeters forward or backwards versus what it was before I sent it in. Ah, Alan, where's the ship now? That must look very classical, like Mozart. A sheep for a wig. It should be pretty wind resistant though. Sounds like a proper solution. Well, and Liwe, still the camera is working properly with the DC in here. So whatever they did, even though they said they didn't do anything, for now seems to have resolved at least the power issue. Got another Embraer 190. This one is going to Oslo. The PHEXA, 10 years old, first flight December 2013. Indeed, het kabouterplop effect. Ja, vraag niet hoe het kan, maar profiteer ervan, is what my old geography teacher used to say. Got another big bird coming in. That is United Airlines flight 947, which is off to Washington. 787-10. Don't recall having seen 787-10s from United very often over here lately. Yeah, indeed, Marie's also confirming, yeah. And also a massive big thank you to Arjan, who just now gifted 5 more memberships, 5 new members courtesy of Arjan. Thank you so much. Dankjewel Arjan. You really shouldn't have, but you did so. You did it anyway. Don't forget to say thank you if you are one of the recipients of the gifted memberships of Arjan, and more importantly, don't forget to spam us with those custom emojis that now are at your disposal for a month. slowly but surely the number of members is creeping upwards. From a low, relative low of around 500, we were almost at 700, which is the amount needed for another custom emoji slot to become vacant. Last week it dropped off again a bit towards 600. I'm guessing we're now going towards 625, 630 or something. So hey, Lisa is also back baby. Hope you've had a good lunch. Hope you're not too drunk from those 10% beers. And what you missed is that we probably found a solution for the static. Now connecting with Wi-Fi to my modem, my mobile modem. Not using mobile data, switch that off. And so far I haven't heard from anybody reporting any static since, even with the phone now back in its vertical position in the phone holder. And yes, Koen, that is United, but not United 21, United Flight 947. Hello there Petra, who is tuning in from Germany. Herzlich willkommen. We hebben een voorkruiper, indeed. We have a cheater in Cheater's Lane. And of course it is KLM. They always do that. Now also a massive big thank you for your continued support to Kevo. 10 months of membership, still here. Thank you for that. Hope everything is still to your liking in the lounge. 2 months and you'll also be going green. Greenpeace is going to be so happy with so many green members in the Aurora Sky Lounge. Creeping and crawling. Bloody cheat. Indeed, Han. The line skipper looks like a dinky toy. Michael also back in the chat, tuning in from Kansas. Good morning, Michael. Hope all is well. Good to have you back. Runway reversals today. We started the stream with arrivals and now it's become departures, which is nice. Got the heavies going in, coming in and going out. Great news indeed, Lisa. Now, this is an airplane that you don't see very regularly over here. United Airlines sending over a 787-10. It is flight 947. Will be returning to Washington shortly. 5-year-old airplane. First flight March 2019. It's the November 12006. For those of you interested in the registration. Hadi Nico, goedemiddag. And indeed, Lisa, runway reversal. Winds switching ever more to the north over the day. We started off with southwesterly winds. Now the wind is blowing more or less perpendicularly to the runway heading from the west and is expected to switch further to northwest. Up, up, and away. A streamliner indeed, Frank. A streamliner indeed. Now another Scream and a Screamliner will be taking off next. Delta Airlines Flight 49 to New York JFK. A330 Neo. It's already lined up. Delta Airlines Flight 49. 2-year-old airplane, November 417 Delta X-ray. Now we'll wait for the next airplane to come this way. It is almost in the vicinity of the fire station. Well, it's already past the fire station. EasyJet A319 to Bristol. Chuck says you're standing much further down the runway, aren't you? Well, I am standing further to the north compared to what is officially the Spottersplatz. Absolutely, Chuck. So the official Spottersplatz, if you look it up on the map, would be where those people are standing at the fence. And there's a cycling path, as you guys can see, leading over here. I'm standing a bit further to the north. This is the ideal spot to spot rotations on the heavies for outbound and the first exit when arriving, where you can see the so-called butt shots. Also quite a big flock of birds over there in the background, as you guys can see. It's like a Hitchcock film. EasyJet A319 to Bristol, flight 25531. EasyJet to Glasgow, A320 Neo is also coming. 2 consecutive EasyJets. This is the OELKY, 13 years old, first flight July 2011. A319 to Bristol. Let's go. Lewis says, shopping time, see you all next stream. Lewis, thank you so much for joining, mate. Enjoy the rest of your day. I hope to see you tomorrow. The A319, A320 Neo to Glasgow, already spooling up. EasyJet, flight 27835. Another Austrian registered airplane, the OELSI, 4 years old. First flight September 2019. We've got 4 narrow bodies coming this way. Now Monique says 6 months a member, boy knows this already, but he and his fabulous streams and funny comments helped me overcome my 44 years of extreme fear of flying and crashing airplanes. I'm forever grateful, boy. Monique, thank you so much. Still with your career, still surprised that you developed a fear of flying, but you told me about it. I'm happy that at least you've overcome your fears. Happy to have you as a member, and always a pleasure to have you in the streams. Hopefully you'll continue to do that for many more months to come. If not as a member, then at least as a regular visitor. And thank you so much for your kind words, Monique. Now, this airplane is an Embraer 175. It has big sharklets or winglets or whatever they're called. Nice overview of the different Embraers. We saw the Embraer 175 just now. Here we have an Embraer 190. And after that we're going to see an E2 Embraer 195. This is KLM flight 1177 going to Stavanger. Embraer 190, 8 years old, first flight December 2015. E2 Embraer in the background, which will be going to Dublin, Ireland. Alan, back for a bit. Misplaced his bloody sheep. What the fudge, mate? What the fudge? Now, I think we all need to chip in and see if we can find Alan's sheep. What's it look like? Is it white or a different color? E2 Embraer 195 to Dublin, next to take off, flight 1139, the PH NXP, a year-old airplane, first flight June 2023. Embraer 190 behind it, going to Game of Thrones, aka Göteborg. Ton says A380 expected 10 to 2. Yeah, it's late today. It wasn't airborne yet when I woke up around 7 and had a look on flight radar, which I always do to see what time everything is coming in. Now I have to wrap up the stream somewhere between 1 and 1:30 today. So I won't be around for the A380 regardless of where it is going to land today. It is a default livery, not a special one. In that sense, we're not missing out on a lot. I haven't seen a lot yet today, or have we? Ah, there's a tractor coming this way. Blue, so it's a boy tractor. Not sure what appendix is behind it. It's going in the field. Right here. Oh, that's the plow, isn't it? They're going to plow the field, I think. The empty field of wheat. All the wheat has been delivered to Snoop Dogg's coffee shop. I see that Lily is also back in the chat. Good to see you, Lily. Lily. Good morning. Hey there, Mika. Good afternoon. A330 coming to you, Delta. That is sweet. Oh, no plow. Egaliseren. Okay. Cultivator. Okay. Right, duly noted. Let's see, for now, coming this way. Oh, we saw play land. We're going to see it leave. Second airplane coming this way is play outbound to Reykjavik. First airplane to come this way, EasyJet A319 to Luton. Look away when it passes by if you are gluten intolerant, because this might give you the cramps. And a bad case of diarrhea. I've got a bad case of diarrhea. Make sure to memorize that dance if you need to call in help when you have a bad case of diarrhea. Should see the playtime airplane pretty soon. It is, according to Flight Radar, almost there. It is. Lisa doesn't want to be reminded of that video. Well, then you shouldn't watch the stream. Keep people reminding of that genius video whenever it is relevant. And when you're gluten intolerant, you might get a bad case of diarrhea from the airplane that will be taking off firstly. Now, for those of you who might be gluten intolerant, don't know what we're talking about, you definitely will have to watch this video. Lance says, have a fijne dag, bedankt. Tot de volgende keer allemaal, wel thuis and all that jazz. Just remember to stoelremen and faster, faster, faster make it with a touch of rechtop. Dude, that is gibberish. I think what he's trying to say is like and subscribe if you haven't already. See you in the next one. Enjoy the rest of your day, and the same to you, my friend. The same to you, Lance. Triple 7-300 is indeed coming, Mika. You can see it on Flight Radar as well. Meanwhile, playtime for the second time today. How lucky are we? Play A320neo flight 461 off to Reykjavik shortly. It's TFPPD. Seven-year-old airplane. First flight April 2017. Don't forget it, Michael, don't forget it. That is good news if you cannot unsee that video, because who knows, if you're ever abroad and you need help when you got a bad case of diarrhea, at least you'll know what to do. You have to do it with the dance, otherwise people might not understand you. Also, Paul, a massive big thank you for your super sticker, bear character, turning around, waving his hand, saying hey you while lowering his glasses. Thank you so much for that, Paul. Hey you too. Rodney says, this is a very bright colored airplane, I like it. Absolutely. Playtime it is, second time today. That's the condition. And what's that? That's Delta. Delta flight 73 to Atlanta, A330-300. With a KLM 777-300 in the background. There it is. Up and away. It's a plane, indeed, Frank, indeed. Ah, Alan found the sheep. Sneaky Sod was wearing a balaclava. Was it also going to rob a bank? Is it the Canadian sheep? Give me all your money. And Jetlux, thank you for your kind words. Love your channel, boy, he says. Thank you so much. Hope everybody is liking the channel. Don't forget to like if you haven't already. Helps to spread the content to new people who don't know the channel yet, but who might also be interested in streams like these. Delta Airlines Flight 73 outbound to Atlanta, Georgia. The November 821 November whiskey. Whiskey. 17 years old, first flight August 2007. And behind it, the 777-300 KLM flight 611 to Chicago. Marianne has to go, says have a great day everyone. Marianne, thank you so much for joining. You have a great day too. Hope to see you in the next one. Julian Plays is back in the chat, says hi. Hey there, Julian. Michiel asks, ER is extended range. I think it does mean that. LR long range, ER extended range. SR short range, obviously. Rodney says the KLM trips from AMS to ATL fly over my house on a clear blue sky day. You can see them. I'm in WV, West Virginia. They're probably descending then already, or are they still cruising? And indeed, Mark, Neo is new engine option. This is KLM flight 611, 777-300 This destination is Chicago O'Hare. The PHBVU, 6 years old, first flight September 2017. What else is coming? 2 narrow bodies after that. 777-200 to Calgary after that. Narrow bodies. 777-200 to Las Vegas is also on the move. Air Canada flight 901 to Montreal is also on the move. Still no static. Still cruising at 35,000 feet or so. Okay. Now my topography of the United States is not what it used to be, but West Virginia and Georgia are not that far apart, aren't they? Aren't they neighboring states? Narrow bodies with a sleek fuselage. Was looking on the platform, scrolling back to. Nope. Well, yeah. Well, depends on what. It depends on how you define it. Embraer 190 up next, going to Aalborg. The mother duckers are there. Mother ducker on the right still has a bit of a zebra livery. I think that is an adolescent then. Could this be mom and dad, or dad and what used to be a little one? Does look like it, doesn't it? Oh yeah, hey. Yep, parents and child. That's what it looks like to me. Time for another rare Embraer, German Airways, flying for KLM, going to Aalborg. Flight 1285. And this is an Embraer 190 SR, sir. Short range. 16 years old. There's also a cheater on its way to Cheaters Lane, going to Bill Land, dropping off the bills. Well, that is a priority. Getting rid of bills, always a good thing. Indeed, Hans Olaf, Aalborg is a city in Denmark, just like Billand is. Michael says, I'll take a medium rare New York strip steak instead of an Embraer. Take them rare. Now, the cheater still holding short to Bill land, and this 737 is already spooling up and coming this way. KLM flight 927 going to Edinburgh, 737-800. And that cheater in Cheater's Lane to Bill land is also a 737-800. In the meantime, the 777-200 to Calgary is lining up on the threshold. Plan Watcher also back in the chat. Good to see you, mate. Now time to drop off bills in Bill land. And the 777 says, move it. Get a move in. Get a move on, son. Move it. And so it does. KLM flight 1295, 737-800 going to Bill land. It's the PHBGC, Boston Group Consulting. 16-year-old airplane, first flight made 2008, and Wi-Fi on board. Triple seven time. 777 time. KLM flight 677 lined up, ready to go to Calgary in Canada. Hopefully to get back some of that money that the Canadians stole from us. 777-200 PHBQM, 18 years old, first flight March 2006. Let's look and listen. Hey there, Elias and Samuel. So KLM Asia on its way to Canada. Go figure. Hey, Roy emanating back from Lurker's Lounge. Nice. The triplet of Koets still in the vicinity over here. They've done their cardio, now some personal hygiene. Time for another rare Embraer. Over there. Going to Glasgow, Embraer 175, KLM flight 939. I'm guessing still no static since we switched it to the Wi-Fi signal. We have another Embraer in Cheater's Lane. Air Canada Dreamliner. And another KLM Asia 777. First KLM flight 939 to Glasgow. Embraer 175, the PHEXO, 7 years old, first flight June 2017. All good, no static, perfect. Perfect. So we're back with no errors then. Wow. Savor the moment. Lord knows how long it's going to last before another technical hiccup is going to pop up. And indeed, Frank, riding a bicycle, flying an Embraer, no difference. They both have the same bar handle steering. Absolutely right in that respect. Now I do know how to ride a bike, so I can probably also steer an Embraer. That makes sense. Let me see if KLM still needs pilots. This is an E2 Embraer going to Copenhagen. Sleek fuselage, big ass engines, that is an E2 Embraer 195. No winglets, no sharklets, no nothing. Well, it does got a big hump on the back. A zit, if you will. That's a designated cabin specifically for mothers-in-laws. Mothers-in-law. Maria says, think positive. If you know my character, you will know that that is very hard for me to do. I sound cheerful, but thoughts aren't always. KLM flight 635 going to Las Vegas, 777-200 the PHBQA already spooling up, coming this way. 19-year-old airplane, first flight September 2004. Frank gave KLM a call and they're expecting me for a meeting on Monday. Okay. That'll work. Also back in the chat, good to see you, mate. And Julian is on a flight tomorrow from Amsterdam to LAX. Nice. We do expect outbound traffic tomorrow with wind blowing from the north. So we might... What time will you be flying, Julian? Thinking, are we going to be able to film your departure? I think that might be a possibility. Hey there, Mike. Good afternoon. Good to see you again, mate. Hope all is well. Harry also back in the chat. Looks like Canada might go on strike in Canada. Really? What is going on that they're considering going on strike? Julian says around 12. Well, that's... I'll be out then, weather permitting, so... Do you have a left-hand seat, Julian? If you're going to go to LAX, because you're going to take off from this runway probably. If you have a left-hand window seat, you might even be able to shine the light. Torch of your phone. Meanwhile, Air Canada is going back to Canada. Ever more flex in the wings, then a bit more during rotation. Giving rise to that classical 787 Dreamliner shape. Counterfeit AMS Live logo is what it is. Hey, bom dia Maria. Welcome back. Hope all is well. Next up, Dreamliner time. KLM flight 565 to Nairobi. That's in Kenya. Nairobi, Kenya. 787-10 Dreamliner, the PHBKL. 2-year-old airplane, first flight June 2022. Meanwhile, that tractor is still doing whatever it is that it's doing. You can probably pick it up on the mic. PHBOY is still available, Frank says. Awesome. Have to buy a plane, but that's just a minor detail. I can have my own custom registration. Always amazing, isn't it, Danny? To see the planes taking off, clawing at the sky. Totally agree with you there. And also nice that we have both arrivals and departures in a single stream. Something that doesn't happen every day. Always nice when it does. Nice bit of variation. Embraer 190 lined up, going to Boss Hell, which is where we drop off European asshole bosses. American asshole bosses go to Boston, but we send them to Switzerland to Boss Hell. KLM flight 1945, the PHEZO, it is moving, it is coming. 14-year-old airplane, first flight March 2010. Back with another Dreamliner after that. In the background, as you guys can see, another 787-10 by the looks of it. Yep, to LAX, KLM flight 603. Next up, KLM flight 603 to LAX. 787-10. PHBKF, 4 years old, first flight December 2019. Right, we've got a bunch of narrow bodies coming next. I also have to tear everything down, get back home before the phone call that I'm expecting. So I am going to wrap it up for now. This was the last airplane. Hopefully the weather will allow me to go out again tomorrow. I think we're going to have summery weather the next 3 days. So tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday should be good streaming days. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, where I'm going to go to, but I am looking to go out again tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. Hope to see you then. Enjoy the rest of your day. I had a great time right now. Hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I have. Don't forget to drop a like if you haven't already. It really helps to spread this stream and other content to other people who like streams like this as well. Big thank you to everybody who has supported the channel by gifting memberships, becoming a member themselves, super chatted, super stickered, whatnot. PayPal, of course, merch store. Thank you all so much. Also, moderators, a big thank you for keeping the chat friendly and accessible again. Hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye for now.